Hi to, I don't know who I'm talking to, YouTube, I suppose. I am going to do a reading on the David case because I've been following it for days and I really want to. But I don't want to post it yet because I don't want to be like, I'm worried about being wrong, but I don't want to put things into the universe that are unconfirmed quite yet. I'm not really like some kind of established YouTuber. I also did a case a while back that came out to like an hour. It was a little bit too long. And I think when I posted that one, I just felt like I know what I was feeling, the energy, but the idea that I could be saying something that potentially could harm someone without it being confirmed. I know this is weird, like as a psychic, I'm supposed to be like, this is for entertainment value, because it is at the end of the day, because I can't confirm any of these things. But I'm feeling pulled to do this case. The case is really interesting to me. I'm going to try to confirm what day it is because there's not a lot of information, and right now it is okay. I'm going to upload it and leave it as unlisted, and then in the event that I have any of the points right, I will then make it public. The other thing I was going to do is, you can't see because my cat's little head. Okay. It says it on my phone is Monday, October 6th. So, Monday, October 6th, that's what we're going with. And as of Monday, October 6th, right now, most recently, he was sort of like they outwardly stated that he's not a suspect. You probably already know all the details about this case if you've made it somehow to this deep trenches of the internet. Essentially, she's died at 14. Last they heard from her was in the end of July or early August. We'll just say early August because I think that's what people are confirming, that her friends last heard from her in early August. And that otherwise she was found in September, the day before her birthday. She was badly decomposed, and it seems like they're struggling to find like how she was murdered. They don't have the cause of death at this moment. So what I'm going to do, actually, is close that door. Hold on one second. Back. And now my background has more vibes, and it's also a little more quiet, and I don't know. Okay, the lighting's not like super great, so I apologize. But I'm going to see, I've done a bunch of cases in the past. I've actually do true crime for fun. Usually it was more to like practice, kind of using unsolved mysteries. For example, I would just go in with the name, get the energy, and then see what happened. And I was pretty accurate and sometimes a little off, which I think is normal for any tarot reader. Anyone who gets 100% right all the time is probably not doing tarot correctly or is lying. So what I'm going to do, what I really want to know is whether or not this man is guilty of killing her. I do think my assumptions before going into the energy is that they were definitely dating, that he's a little bit immature. This energy that I'm getting off of him, and that he really did feel like he loved this girl and was also very emotional, controlling. She comes from a troubled home. Her parents, especially her mom, she has a bad relationship with. She runs away. But she's also very immature because she's very young. I can't tell if he killed her or not. So the only way I can do that is to pull cards for him and for her and the relationship between them at the time of her death. So, yeah, I don't think it's like the typical. I think he sees himself a little younger than he really is and thought they were at the same level. which is not true. It's still not good. Not an excuse at all. But he's homeschooled, a little bit socially stunted as well. Okay, that's a card for him. And then, I'm using my horror deck because it's a murder mystery, but horror tarot. So these are pretty cool. We'll do a card for her. This is their relationship towards each other. And then a card for the energy between them at or around the time that she passed. Okay, I have to stop thinking. I gotta let the energy speak for itself, because I have all these ideas for what I think could have happened, and I don't want that to. But I just keep looking at him and empathizing with him. I'm like, but what if he killed her? I don't want to empathize with somebody who killed somebody. So I'm just gonna pull the cards. Okay, so for him, the Wheel of Fortune reversed. Oh, there's so many meanings. This is a turning point. And, the Wheel of Fortune, takes your life and swings it in another direction. If it's good, it goes bad. If it's bad, it goes good. I think this is going to the bad. Whether or not that's something more sinister or just a relationship ending or his life kind of going into chaos, I don't know for sure. This one is her. But you know what? It is about the relationship. But I think also is a turning point in his life. I mean, and that's true. But I think it's a turning point in the relationship. Okay. Okay, so the Hierophant is a card that I have here. But the horror deck has extra layers. And every time I look at this Hierophant card in this deck, there's a spooky man here holding on to a young woman. And he's got his tendrils all over them. I can feel this relationship is toxic. I can feel that it's very controlling, manipulative, and one that she can't get away from. But the Hierophant is about rules, tradition, and structure. So that's interesting. She did think that she was going to get married, didn't she? I mean, she's also getting pulled away from home. She's getting pulled away from school. She's getting pulled away from all these, the norms that she should be a part of. And he's the one in the background, spooky, pulling her away. Okay, so now, relationship between them. Well, that's the Devil card. Straight off the bat. Well, that's not good. That's toxicity flowing both ways. Look at him. Look at his little spooky. I just watched Demon Slayer. Sorry, I have ADHD. And we were watching about spiders. That season 1 sequence. Something shifts for him. And she can't get out. Okay. But does this man kill her? Okay, I have cards that would come up if it was something more like drugs, because that's an option, right? That she could be died of an overdose and just was put in the car and left there. I'm gonna pull 3 more cards for her. I'm gonna do 3 for everybody. All right. I said her, so I already put the intention down. So we're gonna do 3 cards for her. 3 for him again. These are clarifying pulls. I usually do 3 cards at a time. One of my YouTube idols is Aphrodite, and I kind of like learned how to do tarot through Aphrodite because he's super cool and very, very good. I trust his readings a lot. Particularly his true crime readings and his celebrity readings, if you're into that. Depends on which one. Double card is just staring at me. Alright, so I put 3 cards down for him. I have 3 cards down for her. And I'm going to do 3 for this energy in between, which is really, really interesting that I just pulled the devil. Devil can be infatuation. Like, it's coming in strong, like really toxic. Like, I can't explain, but like both of them being really attached to the other. And in a way that like they can't quite let go. Okay, so him or her first? I pulled hers first. We'll pull her first. 5 of Swords. I thought it was 3 because the bird is holding 3, which is interesting because 3 is grief. But there's 5 and there's 2 on the floor here. And 5 of Swords is more of conflict. But for some reason, I'm going to keep looking at the 3. This is conflict. This is conflict with him. So now that's lending me to... Okay, let me see what the other 2 say, obviously, because they're going together. But I'm starting to think that she had she wanted to... I think this is giving me she wanted to leave and go back home. Okay, our Knight of Swords is in reverse. Obviously, Knights are really fast communication. Immediately getting yelling, screaming, arguing. That's usually when I pull that. I mean, he's just like a dude. What do you call those rock guys? Gargoyle. Gargoyle. He looks pretty sinister. But Knight of Swords for me, it's either fast thinking energy, like mental energy, or it's communication. But it's resonating with me as like, particularly in relation to this other card. Sorry for the lights going out. I'm like, I have to stop my computer from doing that, apparently. Okay, so. Two of Wands, and it's in reverse. And if you look at her too, because it's now we have, like, it almost feels like, and you kind of have to use your intuition on this, right? This is him, because that was the energy I got. And we have a conflict, right? So the 3 go together. So there's conflict here, laden with grief. And he's very angry and yelling and saying a lot of terrible things. And this even looks like her a little bit. This is planning energy. And the 2 of Wands, you're planning for the future. You're planning for something. And it's in reverse, which means I think he's trying to stop her from making those plans. Okay. Let's confirm with our friend here over here. That is not our friend, but the Wheel of Fortune card is our friend. In reverse, because I want to know more about what's going on this side. The 7 of Cups is in reverse, right? And the 7 of Cups is like choice, but it's also fantasy. I pull this for fantasy all the time. The fact that it's in reverse, deep in the fantasy, and it makes sense. He's artistic, and really, do you know? Okay, so I have ADHD, and likely also autism, ADHD. And I can get very into my own head and into my own imagination and sort of see the world a lot more dramatic than it really is, and got to be pulled down to earth, right? And I'm kind of getting, I don't know if he's neurodivergent, but he might be, because this is like a sense I have from him. But I think he gets caught in the fantasy, and he said that he gets caught in the fantasy of love. But I think he gets a little too caught into his little imaginative world. And it makes sense, actually, when you think about all of his music and his themes, and he has his own world building. There's something about that, and it's in reverse, because I think it's like it gone negative, because you can read reverse cards in multiple ways. I just follow my intuition with it, but it's coming through as like almost delusional, like a little bit out of his mind, right? Not the King of Cups in reverse. Oh, look, he's like a merman. This is a really cool deck. The artwork is kind of gorgeous. It's the Horror Tarot deck. I think you can get it on Amazon. Let me know if you want to see that. But the Knight of Cups. This King of Cups. The King of Cups is the epitome of emotional maturity, in which he is not. We are the absolute opposite. Which again, he is emotionally immature. Cups, a lot of Cups energy, and this is like being in your feels. This is very, very emotion heavy. He's emotionally not mature and emotionally too deep in his fantasies, and it's surrounding Celeste. Why the King of Pentacles showing up though? Upright. We got the lowest of your emotional maturity, but we have the highest of your physical wealth and success and career. Someone with too much money and not enough emotional maturity is what we have here. And it's interesting. This is the Wheel of Fortune in reverse too. So I'm trying to clarify this. So it's like, how do you, he's growing and growing and growing in success. I think it's getting to his head a little bit, and he's losing touch with reality. To the point, it's like his emotional maturity is low, but now his career is high, and it's at a phase of his life too. Like he just like left his parents' home, it seems like, right? Like he's just not quite, his lifestyle's not matching where his emotional maturity is at. And that apparently is involved in how he's treating her over here. Because like that's where he is at. Whereas he's at is that he's really successful and trying to balance between that and this love obsession that he has. And then we have on this side a young girl who is stuck between what the right thing would be, which is going home and going to school and getting her life on track, and this relationship, and you know, trying to plan her way back home, but being stopped. Being blocked. Being in conflict with what I can only assume is, you know, this bad energy over here. Which is where we get our Devil card. I can't believe I pulled that for the energy between them towards the end of her life. That's not even like, okay. Sometimes I'm surprised. So I have 3 cards here. Same thing we're going to do about this energy. Ooh, the moon. I mean, the moon is, look at him, he's like a little werewolf howling at the moon. But the moon is secrets. Things are hidden, you know. 6 of Wands. Look at this carousel. That's spooky. And then the last one. Okay, yeah. The thing with the Six of Wands too is that, before going to the last one, this is about being seen and being recognized. Interesting that it's a girl on a horse in a carousel, and this is like, I don't know why I'm getting like she's on an adventure, having fun, and you know, at the spooky park. But this guy's hiding something, that he's a werewolf. And she wants to be recognized. You know what it is too. On her end, she's not getting enough validation at home. You know, when a lot of young women, young men too, I'm not going to say that young women are the only ones that are victims. A lot of young women will have a difficult home life and not get from a parent the appropriate love and validation. And they will become easily prey to people who want to take advantage of them, because that person is giving them the love and validation that they are not receiving at home where they should be. And that feels like, on her end, where a lot of the desire to be in this relationship is coming from. Because that feeling of love, that feeling of validation from a partner, however old or whatever, and almost because I don't think she has a lot of healthy examples of love, definitely not in her family. Perhaps, who's to say? The fighting, the toxicity, the controlling behavior all feel like love. And that's as somebody who's come from, like, I've had abusive relationships before. And you know what? I've had that without, like, you know, it's not always both parents. It's not always, you know, everyone in your family. You can still have people that are healthy adults in your life or whatever. But, like, trauma does things, right? And so I don't know her full situation. I'm not going to say that she had no adults in her life that weren't trying to be a good example for her. But from her perspective, especially when you're young and you don't know what a real relationship should look like or what a healthy one looks like, and I think that was my problem too when I was younger, it's so easy to have somebody else or like movies and all these things validate this idea that if you're fighting, if they're crying over you, if they're begging for you, like that's love. And so for her, all of that feels like love and validation. It makes her feel better. So but there's some, so why are you gonna give me the moon though? But there's like things that she didn't know, or things that were hidden, or things that are just, I think, from him particularly. And then the last card, we have that King of Swords energy again. King of Swords, Knight of Swords. Look at that. That's crazy looking. I don't even know what to call this, like, creature in the picture. But usually when I get a swords card like this, Queen, King, Knight, Knights to me is arguing, because that energy moves fast. The Knight is like the fastest card in the deck, and you flip that, you're like having a fight. This is like some serious, especially for King, verbal manipulation, verbal arguing, but like at this sort of higher level. It's like really verbally either abusive or manipulative. But like that's the energy I keep seeing, is that there's a lot of It's a lot of arguing, a lot of fighting, a lot of yelling, but a lot of she's drawn and he's. See, I think the reason why I didn't pull it up for here, like we kind of have more of like what's drawing her into this. But here we already had that he has this like obsessive fantasy view of love. Just like obsessive. And I mean, I think there's something also off with him. I don't feel like maybe I just don't know. I kind of know that Celeste had family issues. I don't know for him particularly. I think something about being sheltered. Maybe he have an obsession with gore, things like that. I don't know what it is. There's something about him for some reason that he also is really drawn to this really toxic kind of love. That was like 26 minutes and that was just a setup. All right. I want to know the circumstances in which this girl has passed. And I'm going to ask it broadly, and then we can kind of check afterwards if he had something to do with it. So we're not going to shuffle the deck. We're just going to go from here. So I feel compelled to do it that way. Ace of Cups. That's the beginning of love. Okay. Somehow, I need more cards to confirm. He was with her for a long time. Ace of Cups is someone new. And that makes me think that there was somebody else involved. Not that she was starting to date or like somebody else. Oh. The Page of Cups is in reverse. This is another person. A new, young love. Ace of Wands. These are all aces. You see, they just pulled out a bunch of aces out of nowhere. Ace of Wands, Page. Page and aces are like the beginning of things. Wands is passion. Ace of Cups is emotion. Starting to feel the butterflies. Starting to feel the passion for another person. I asked why this happened. And that's why I think she liked somebody else and he got jealous. Now that's what this immediately made me think. Or the new person killed her. So let's get some clarifying cards to figure out if I'm right on the first one, or because otherwise, why those cards. So we're gonna ask. I'm just gonna say straight ahead. Did David kill her out of jealousy because of a third party? Because he's controlling her because she couldn't go home and she was cheating or something. I don't know. It doesn't make it okay. I'm just thinking like they broke up, but she couldn't go home, but she wanted to go home, but she liked another guy. And he finds out. I don't know. Things like that, right? So. Look how pretty this card is, right? I got it in reverse. Queen of Swords. Again, I told you the swords are fights. And this is again a high level king, queen, knight. I feel them sometimes, not always. Sometimes they're just like intellectual energy, but the energy that's flowing right now is like very fight. And this is her saying something, doing something. Six of Cups is, you could tell this is a child. I've been wondering too, and I'm not going to say this is what this energy is, but there are people saying that she said that she was pregnant. And sometimes I'm like, what if she lied about it, even though she wasn't, because they said that she wasn't. I don't know how he would believe it without any proof. Okay. Sorry. There it goes. We're back. The thing went off again. Okay. This could also be, I was like, she said something. Either about children or she called them immature is the other one I could think of. Let's see what their card says. Nine of Pentacles. In reverse. It's a woman in this picture. I mean, the Nine of Pentacles tends to have a woman in it. It tends to be, it's the one that's fertility, isn't it? I'm gonna double check really quickly. See, the crazy thing is, and it's just because the Six of Cups is here, but that I'm right. The Nine of Pentacles is the one that's like fertility, which can be either be that or the Empress. The Empress is like a mother, but to me, it's like a mother figure. It's a little bit older. But I feel like I pull the Nine of Pentacles for pregnancy. We get 6 and this one, and I was like, maybe she called him immature. But my first thought was about the pregnancy thing, and I was like, why is she saying she's pregnant if she's not pregnant, if that's what it came out as? Like, Nine of Pentacles. Unless he was like, I don't want to be with you because you're too young. And she was like, but I'm pregnant. Maybe she found out she wasn't. Maybe she said something to stay. But then why did I pull that thing about another guy? And why did this come up when I asked about him? Oh, there's so many things happening right now. Is there another guy? Did he think that the other guy did it? There is so much happening in this energy right now. All I can feel is them fighting, and I can't quite, like, in my head decipher what. Like, when I get into the flow, I just feel what the energy is. I just feel like there's yelling. Magicians in reverse. This is manipulation. Hangman. In this case, feeling trapped and wanting to go. Wait, was her, like, way of trying to leave? Five of Pentacles, she's lonely. She needs her mom, she needs her sister, she needs to go home because she's pregnant? But she's not. What is this? I don't know why I'm catching that. Okay. High Priestess, not using intuition. Ace of Swords in reverse. An idea. It's not a very good idea. Not really thinking very well, not really a good idea. Pain. This is Ten of Swords. This is like never-ending pain. This is where I start to be like, what? I don't want to say the wrong thing, but a lot of the cards are leaning in that direction. Yeah, I feel like she's like saying a lot of things to try to get her to leave. And it doesn't end up the right way that she wants it. She might have said she was pregnant and then she wasn't. Maybe he found that out. Initially to keep him and then initially to go home. One of those or the other. I don't know if the other man thing is true. But he might have been like accusing her at least. Alright. Let's try one more time. The cards will tell me what it wants to tell me, even if I ask a question, to be honest. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. I hope you don't hear all the kids outside. Nine of Swords. Seven of Wands in reverse. Here's the Fool. Look, she's trying to walk away from ghouls again. But this is, like, literally being stupid. Well, not thinking fully. Not being stupid, but, like, not really fully thinking it out. I mean, she's young. Yeah, I can't parse through this energy, to be honest. There's, like, a defensiveness, obviously. Wait, no, this one's defensiveness. This one's literal fear and anxiety. And this is, like, not making a smart decision. And something about that, something she said or did, I'm going to lean on. She said something. I mean, my best intuition is that she did say she wanted to go home, and that was a problem. She kept saying she wanted to go home. She had been missing. She had been in his house. You know, I did pull the cards about, like, his career is just going up, up, and up, and up, right? And perhaps it started to become a liability that he had a young underage girl living in his house that was missing. But I also think he was just more or less deeply obsessed with her. Okay. We're going to put 3 cards. Whichever one seems the closest is the card. Otherwise, I'm starting to get a little tired, so I'm going to probably stop. But did David do it? Did a third party do it? I didn't really get a lot of energy about the actual person existing. I think he might have been accusing her. I think he's like, you want to leave me not because, like, you want to be home, but because you want to see another guy. Like, I don't know. He might have been accusing her of wanting to be with her ex or something. But I'm not, like, strongly getting the energy that her ex is, like, actually involved or she's actually seeing him or something. And this is that she just overdosed. Page of Pentacles. It's about having a foundation. Alright, what about the other guy? 7 of Pentacles. There's a lot of tombstones in this picture, though, about a third party. And unhappiness. Man, that could be about any of those, to be fair. Alright, this video is getting too long anyway. I am going to stop this here. And then if more information comes to light, we're going to look into it further. Or maybe I'll come later after I've shuffled the deck and felt it out for a bit. I feel like David could have done it, but had somebody else do it for him, is what I'm hearing. But I'm not sure. Pull 1 card for that. Whoa, I pulled the Tower. I pulled the Tower card. And it's upright too, so that's not good. Yeah, I literally was just like, why does this feel like it's all true at once? She was unhappy, a little bit of drugs, whatever. I don't think it was I mean, that's if you killed yourself or whatever, but I don't know. The sun being in reverse is like, I don't know if that's the reason, but it's like possible, right? So it's an option. And then whether or not somebody else did it. Seven of Pentacles, and then Page of Pentacles for whether he did it is a little ambiguous, but then I just said, like, is it possible that he got somebody else help him? And I pulled Tower. This is everything coming down and crashing down. That's a really, really, really strong card. So let me just look one more thing up really quick. Okay. Kind of just confirms what I was thinking. So that is like my current guess, but I don't feel like 100,000% like definitively. The things that I feel definitive about is his overt like obsession and being stuck in his imagination. Her desire to go home, I think, is pretty strong, and her feelings of wanting the validation, that came in really strong. And but the manner of death and who did it, I'm still fuzzy on, and that's the part I really wanted to know. I don't think he's entirely innocent, though. But I do feel like that it's deeper than just trying to seduce a minor. I do think he like genuinely felt he was like in a relationship and in love with this young, way too young for him girl, and was acting on like a love obsession for his relation. Not necessarily that he killed her, but like in all the other actions that took place. And if he did, that would include that as well. So thank you for watching, and I'll think about whether or not I want to upload this now or later. So bye bye.